What's up, you guys? We're back. We're live. Welcome back to our weekly live feed here, guys. As you are logging on, say hello. Type into the chat. Tell me where you're coming in from. Let me know that you can hear me okay. All of the things. And as you're getting settled in, we always give it a few minutes for everybody to get logged in and get settled and everybody get their notifications and everything. I still haven't gotten my notification saying that I'm live. Oh, there it is. There it is. So type into the chat. Tell me where you're logging in from. It's been a busy day for me over here. Wednesdays are always my busiest days when it comes to client posing sessions. So been very busy over here. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We've got 2 shows coming up this weekend. Actually, one of them is just a master's show, but I'm going to be there. So we're going to preview it. Just real quick. We're going to go over the World Classic. And we're going to touch on Junior Nationals as well. And as you're getting settled in up here in the corner, this is for our free Fit Model webinar. Scan that. The link is also in the description box here on this video. So it's a free webinar. It's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So mark your calendars. It is not replayed. So you do have to be there live. And we do it once a month. So if you're not on the list, get on the list. It is free, like I said, but you got to be there live in order to be able to participate. It is our free Fit Model webinar for our Ultimate Fit Model course. I see you guys watching. Tell me who's here. Say hi. As always, I want these live feeds to be interactive. I want you guys to be able to talk and put your 2 cents in and all of those kinds of things too. Give me your thoughts. I want this to be a discussion. The whole point of these live feeds is to educate so that you guys know what the criteria is, what we're looking for in the sport, what the judges are seeing, all of the things. We're going to go over a few of the things from Junior Nationals and Fit Model. Oh, something just looks a little weird on the overlay. Do you guys see that on the other side? I don't know if this is just me on my side. Type into the chat. The overlay looks funny all of a sudden. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and see if it looks the same way. Oh no, it looks fine on your end. I don't know why it's looking weird on my end. Hello from Japan, Minnesota. Okay, I guess my end's just the one that's messed up. I'm gonna leave my phone up too, so I can see your comments come in, because for some reason these comments that are coming in right now, I'm not seeing them on my side. So I don't know what's going on right now. I got the chat up. I don't know what's going on, but on your end it's looking fine. So we're just gonna leave it there. We got Japan, we got Connecticut. Good afternoon. Oh, this is interesting. So I've never actually done this before. I've got my live feed playing on my phone. I've just got the volume off. And I'm seeing the comments a lot faster on here than I am on my actual screen. So that's interesting right now. Like, we've got John here, Pro Bikini News Network. Your comment came up, I don't know, 20 seconds ago, and just now it's getting up on the overlay. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to keep this up because then I can still see your comments. I just learned something new today. Good afternoon. Congratulations to Lauren winning the overall and becoming a new Fit Model IFBB Pro. Yes, and she's the first one we're going to talk about today, and then we're going to go into the World Classic, and then we're going to preview. So let me go ahead and pull up her picture. That's the first thing we're going to do. So the backstory on Lauren, she came to CCTS this year. For those of you that don't know, CCTS is my yearly event that I've been doing for the last 10 years. She almost wasn't able to make it, so she did make it, and she was trying to decide on if she should do Fit Model or if she should do bikini. So we were going through everything, and I immediately, like myself and her current coach, Jamie DeBernard, she was there as well. We both said it, you're Fit Model, like 100% Fit Model. She's one of these girls that could absolutely grow into bikini. But as far as her muscularity is concerned and things like that, right now, in order for her to be on the pro stage, we all felt Fit Model was the best place for her. And she just freaking killed that event. She won the overall there. She's just got an incredible stage presence, overall look, everything is just spot on. So all she really needed was to be guided correctly and have her physique brought in correctly. And then, the rest is history. Here she is. And I believe that she is the face for a Fit Model. As far as top to bottom balance, look, everything, movement, presentation, all of that, she has been the best representative of Fit Model that I've seen. Sorry, somebody's knocking on my door. Hang on one second. Got a random delivery that was not my delivery in the middle of the live feed. This is live, you guys. This is live. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. She is the standard, in my opinion. The only thing that sucks about this right now is that we can't get her on stage until next year because we don't have any pro shows until next year. So on my end, she is now sponsored by me for the remainder of her career. I do the Pro Performer Promise. So what that means is if you win your IPP Pro card, when you're wearing one of my suits, then you become sponsored for the remainder of your career. So she is now my very first Fit Model sponsored athlete. And to be perfectly honest with you, I could not think of a better representative for this particular division. I really, really do love her look. Now, with that said, they did have to make some adjustments mid-show. Her glutes were actually too good. There was a lot of discussion with the judges. They felt like she was a little bit beyond what they were looking for, and this is what I was actually a little bit concerned about when I saw her photos from prejudging, because her hamstrings looked a little bit too like they were too much. But in the back of my head too, I said, well, the last show they rewarded the girl that had the cuts and striations in her quads, so they better follow suit here. You know what I mean? So I'm going to just show you guys her back shot. So from the back, like, her glutes are phenomenal. But they do almost have a hamstring tie-in, right? Very, very close. This is pretty close to almost what you would see for bikini national level. So I understand that. So she came back to finals and did not pose like this. She basically just stood there and just let her glutes just be her glutes and did not tilt, all those kinds of things. So that is what won her the overall. If she had come back on stage and posed like she had in prejudging, it would have been a different story. So there is such a thing as being too good for this division, but there is also such a thing as hitting a target. So if we've had this discussion, if the judges are there to help you with your feedback. If you take your feedback from the judges and you deliver on it, then you're going to be rewarded. And here's the thing too. It's like we as coaches, we want to make sure that you deliver on feedback. So at the end of the day, we want the judges to tell us exactly what they want to see, because we are going to deliver what the judges want. And Lauren did that perfectly here, along with her coach. Like I said, Jamie is her coach. So really phenomenal look here. And I really believe, like, the hardest part for Lauren now at this point is that she's going to have to just be her at this point. She can't get any better. She is the criteria, in my opinion. And if she gets any better, she's going to go beyond the criteria and be closer to bikini. So, at this point now, she's just got to kind of sit there and wait till next year, which sucks because I would really love to see her get on stage and compete. I do believe, like I said, she's going to be one of the faces of this division. So now it's just a matter of, just waiting to see how it all plays out and who else gets on that pro stage next year. But I really do believe she could be one of the first people out there that qualifies for the Olympia in this particular division. I'm putting it out there right now. I do think that this is something she could absolutely do. So I'm super excited. Yes, I did design her suit. And if you notice, between this suit and the one she wore at Legions, where she won the overall there, it is a completely different suit. We adjusted a lot of the measurements and things like that for her to make it fit her correctly, and really just accentuate her frame. So when I talk about making Fit Model suits, they are 100% custom made, and we do make them according to what you need to showcase, right? Hi, Lauren. I was just talking about you. You missed me glowing about you, Lauren. You'll have to go back and watch the whole thing. Lauren is on live now, but I was just saying, and if you were on here, I don't know if you heard me say it, but I do believe that you could be one of the first people out there to actually qualify for the first Fit Model Olympia. So I'm putting it up in the cards right now. You don't have to say it. I'll say it for you. So again, going back to, I believe she is a really phenomenal representation for this division. And I'm just really, really happy to see that it was rewarded the way that it was. So yeah, very happy about that. So with that said, like I said, if you are interested in competing in this division, I do have my free webinars happening tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That link up there, or that QR code there up there in the corner, that gets you in. The link is also in my description box here in the video. Okay. So let's jump over to the World Classic. We're going to get rid of this and this. And I'm just really, again, and I've said this to you, Lauren, I'm really glad to see that the criteria is being stuck to, at this particular show. And I mentioned this too. The judges can only reward what they see, right? Some of these shows are not very big. There's not a lot of competitors. So they just have to deal with what they have sometimes. So I think the deeper we get into the season, the more people we're going to see that are really quality competitors, and we're going to get better and closer to the criteria as we go along. So I was very, very happy to see almost like a reset for this particular show in comparison to Junior USA. Because like I said, I was very vocal about the fact that I don't like the striations and the quads and all of that kind of stuff. So I was happy with the results here. All right. Let's go over to the World Classic. So Ashley Caldwell did win this. I'm going to go through the top 5, but I'm also going to bring up the comparison shots between Ashley and Allie because they were 1 and 2, and I'm going to kind of give my 2 cents on what I see from the photos. Now, I'm going to also be very honest with you guys. I didn't like the photos of the show. I didn't like the lighting. I didn't like the backdrop. When I was watching like the videos that Gilco put up, it was very, very difficult for me to concentrate on the physiques. The background, the LED screen was just so busy and so fast. Like it was like water droplets, and it was so distracting to me. So I don't know. I wish they had kind of tested this backdrop before they did it, because it was very, very distracting for me. I don't know if it was like that in person. If any of you guys were there in person and can give me 2 cents. I mean, when I was looking at the photos and video, though, I had a really, really hard time with the photos and videos. So what I say here may not be what happened in real life, because I'm going to be honest, it was just very difficult. It's very difficult for me to concentrate. So I was going to try and get this a little bigger for you guys. There we go. There's the maximized screen for you. Okay, so this was your 5th place winner. I think her name was Danny. Sorry, I'm going to scroll up again and take a look, make sure I don't mess that up. Yep, Danny. So one thing I loved about this show is that all the girls, well, not all of them, but many of the girls that placed in the show had boys' names like me, which was great. Fantastic. I love that. So let's take a look at Danny. In general, I think that this is a pretty good front pose. What I would say is that I almost feel like she's leaning forward a little bit. I'd like to see her stand up a touch. I feel like she might be trying to push into this to kind of get that glute to pop a little bit more. But to me, it just looks like her upper body is just coming forward at me a little. And I'm not a huge fan of that. So I would just say just stand up taller and don't try to push and shove quite so much into that hip. You know what I mean? It was a raining LED screen. They should have just done the dark one at finals for prejudging. Lauren is definitely a great representation for Fit Model. Yeah, it was water droplets on the LED screen. I did not like it. So, and I also again, I don't like this lighting either. It's almost like a downward lit stage. Everybody looks really shadowed. Like everybody's faces look really harsh and things like that. I don't like it. I don't like the lighting here. I don't know how the lights were set up, but it looks like it's almost coming from above and down, and that's why we're getting these shadows. So. Just the lighting here was a miss. The background here was a miss. So test these things, I mean, we could test these things ahead of time. The background was way too busy. So anyway, in general, I think her conditioning is really, really good. I think her fullness is really, really good. I like the suit. I think it fits her really well. I'd like to see a little bit more fullness through that chest clavicle area. That we talked about this with Tori on the Las Vegas, the Nevada show. Nevada. I keep getting corrected on that. I don't know which one it is now. I get so confused now. Nevada. I don't know. Whatever. You guys know which one I'm talking about. But it's the same thing. It's kind of shallow through the clavicle area. So I just like to see a little bit more fullness here and into the shoulders. And it looks to me, I didn't look at the comparison shots with her in it. It looks to me she might be a little bit on the taller side. So she may just need to fill out her legs a little bit more too. I could see a little bit more calf development, that kind of thing, just to kind of give her a little bit more fullness there. Let's take a look at the back shot. I'm sorry for the sniffling. I've got allergies, guys. They're driving me nuts. Can't get rid of them. Okay, back shot. So from the back, she's in great shape, great condition. Really nice full round glutes. I just like to see more of her. Same thing that I said from the front, like we could use a little bit more delt cap on the outside. We could use a little bit more glute just in general. I just think overall, just a little bit more of her. Does anybody know how tall she is? I could probably pull up the comparison shots and figure it out. But she looks like she's relatively long and tall. So I just like to see a little bit more fullness all the way around, a little bit more muscle all the way around. But other than that, what she did with what she has is great. I don't think I would really change anything here. I'm trying to think of anything that I would change in her pose, but I think her pose is great. I think she just needs a matter of a little bit more size all the way around. And like I said, I think her conditioning is right on. Alrighty, we are going to go next. This is Lenny. So again, like I said, boys' names. Love it. Love to see it. Mine might be a little biased, but whatever. Okay. On the flip side of this, Lenny looks like she's relatively small, right? Short. So I would say her conditioning is pretty good here. She's got some striations and a little bit of vascularity in her upper body there in the shoulders. Waistline is a little bit wonky. And what I would say with that is I think she needs to work on this front pose. It just looks like she's pretty long through that waistline. So I don't know if she just needs to stand up tall and just work on that mobility there, because it looks like she needs to twist it a little bit more. To me, this front pose looks a little bit quad dominant as well. Again, this could be the lighting, because you see how it's got that bright light on the top for glutes in the back there. It's kind of bouncing off of that, and it's kind of making her glute look smaller than it actually is. So this could just be the lighting that I'm seeing here in the photos, but I feel like this is a little bit of a quad dominant pose. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the actual pose itself, just because I don't think it does any justice to her midsection. I feel like she needs to pose that midsection a little bit differently, and I would just want to work with her a little bit to figure out how to do that, because that's just not. I mean, it's a longer torso, so she doesn't have that really sharp V into the front, into the waistline there. So I would say just work on that. Let me see something. I want to make sure that I get this expanded so you guys can see the full screen. There we go. Okay, so let's find a back shot. Okay. From the back, really solid back pose. I think that her elbows are out a little bit too far. She needs to relax those down. Probably could get a little less hair because it's covering up her lower back, which her lower back is actually smaller than her hair is. So it's actually making her waistline look thicker from the back. She needs to trim the hair by a couple of inches all the way around so it doesn't cover her delts either. She's actually hiding her shape quite a bit with her hair, which is not a good thing. She's got a better shape than what her hair is suggesting. as far as her fullness and her glutes and all of that kind of stuff from the back, great. Fantastic look from the back. Fantastic shape, all of that from the back. Just needs to really, like I said, work on just that little detail of cutting her hair. I know that seems crazy, but it's just covering up her shape so much. It's really making her look unbalanced, and it's hiding her assets. So trim the hair. This is a phenomenal back shot right here. So that's really all I would change back here. I think her conditioning and fullness is on point. I wouldn't change anything else with that. Next, we have Brittany. So Brittany, we assumed was going to be towards the top of this show, and she did come in third. Let's find a front shot. Here we go. Okay. So I'll say it again. I'm not a huge fan of this light suit color on her. I get what she's trying to do, the whole princess vibes and stuff. So I do understand that for sure. I just like the darker, more pigmented colors on blondes. I think this gets a little bit washed out here. I also think she's trying to compensate in this pose. It looks like she's almost pushing her pelvis forward a little bit versus really like sitting into the pose, which she doesn't need to sit into the hip too much or the glutes are going to be overpowering. But it looks like she's almost tilting her pelvis forward and like leaning backwards a little. So I think she kind of overdid it here with this front pose. But I do think her conditioning is a little bit too hard based on her calves. I mean, she's got some ridiculous calves there, and she's really accentuating that. I feel like if she just put her foot down in that front toe or something and didn't put quite so much emphasis on there, that would actually help. Because the first thing I see when I look, honestly, the first thing I see when I look at this pose is her calves. That shouldn't be the first thing that I see, right? So to me, it's actually pretty distracting. And she's got that vein going right through it. So I would try to adjust this front pose so that's not a focal point. I think that her upper body is a little bit too small here in comparison to her lower body. My eye goes directly to her lower body. So there's just some balance issues here. I think that her fullness is nice. And I think that she's trying to deliver on feedback, but I just don't think it's quite landing quite right yet. I think she probably needs to put on some size just all over so that she can come in tighter and fill out and be nice and full and round and bubbly, because I like her fullness here, but I just like to see more of it. So I think she just needs more size, honestly. Honestly, that's what I would say. Let's find a back shot. Well, she's not fully posed in those. I don't know if there's any other ones. Let's see. Nope. All right, let me go back to one of her back shots. Sorry, the back shots are not fully posed, so we're going to do our best here. So I don't want to critique this back pose too hard because clearly she's not posed in it, but we don't have a fully posed back pose. I think her conditioning's on. I just think she needs more legs. I've said this every show she's done this year. I just think she needs more legs in general. I think her glutes are pretty good, fullness, conditioning, all of that. But overall, she just needs another layer of size. I wish we had a fully posed shot here. I'm going to look one more time. I feel like I'm going to have to go to like finals photos in order to see like a fully posed shot. So hang on. Let me see if there's anything here. Yeah, there's no photos of her fully posed. That's unfortunate. Oh, well. So that's the best I can do as far as critiquing her back pose, because they just don't have a full shot back here. I only caught another live. Yes, love to have you on. And we have Allie in second. So it was a battle between Allie and Ashley. And I'm going to bring up comparison shots between the two of them. But first, we're just going to focus on Allie real quick. I thought this was a great package for Allie. I know one of the things that she always struggles with is keeping her waistline tight while keeping the rest of herself full. And I feel like that was also a thing here for this particular show, but I thought this was a very, very good look for her. Really round and full everywhere, right? And we're going to see when she stands next to Ashley how that waistline does get exposed a bit. I feel like her arms may be a little bit too muscular here. She's got a little bit too much of that bicep pop in there, that kind of thing. So she's got to kind of calm that down a touch. But this is a very, very solid package for her. Again, really good conditioning, really good fullness here, really good overall look. All right. And then we got, again, no fully posed back pose. Well, we're going to see her back pose in a second because I'm going to bring up the comparison shots between her and Ashley. So I'll go ahead and talk about her back pose a little bit before we do that. I thought her glutes looked phenomenal. I thought this was probably one of the best shots of Allie from the back that we've seen. Again, can't really judge them right here because she's not fully posed. But when you see her next to Ashley, you're going to see what I'm talking about. I think her fullness and conditioning was right on. I think she was really well balanced, and I thought this was a very, very good package for her. And then we have your winner, which is Ashley. This is her 52nd win. Let's pull up a front shot. Okay. So I felt like from the front, she looked pretty good. This front pose is off. She's a little bit more twisted here. She has this tendency sometimes to come too straight on to the judges, and I felt like that's what she was doing here. It makes her waistline look bigger than it actually is. She didn't do this in the comparisons. When I show you next to Allie, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Solid package for her. What I'm looking at here, though, it's almost like her upper body overpowers a little bit on her lower body in this particular shot, right? Delts look great, but I feel like she's got a really wide V from her waistline up into her back and her shoulders. So I'm not sure. I just think she just needs to pose this a little bit differently, like sit into the hip a little bit more. It looks like she's standing really straight up. And I think she needs to tilt back and up with her glutes a little bit more just to balance herself a little bit. Like I said, this just looks top heavy to me. And we do have a fully posed shot of her, so that's good. Okay, back shot. So again, this looks a little off. Her arms look a little off. That's a little better. She's just a little tilted, I think, from her front pose. I'll be honest, I don't think this was her best back shot. I feel like her glutes are downsized a little bit. And maybe that's why she looks top heavy from the front. Maybe her glutes are down. Maybe her upper body's the same and her glutes are down. I don't really know, but this doesn't look like a typical Ashley back shot to me. She's still wearing that T-back cut that she wears from Angels, and I just do not like this cut at all. I think if she wore a different cut, that would massively help. But to me, these just look a little bit flat back here. I just don't see the typical Ashley pop. So I'm not sure what's going on back here. I just feel like she's lost a little bit of that density from the back, maybe in her hamstrings. I don't know. Everything looks a little bit flat back here as opposed to really 3D like we're used to seeing from her. So I haven't seen anything that she's put out as far as feedback or anything like that, but I was a little bit surprised when I saw these photos. So I did feel like her glutes were not the typical Ashley K glutes that we see. And I'm gonna show that when I show you these comparison shots between her and Allie. Did I pull any of those up or no? I didn't go back to it. So here is the two of them next to each other. And we're going to go through just the front back. Okay. So this is Allie and Ashley next to each other. This is the final call out. And when I look at this again, I still stick by what I said as far as I think that Ashley could sit into this pose a little bit better, but I do think she's hitting it better here than she hit in her individual. I still feel like she's a little top heavy here, but I think she just needs to tilt the pelvis and get the glutes to pop up a little bit more. But again, I don't like that backdrop because I just feel like they blend into the backdrop a little bit. But I will say that just looking at these two in this front pose, I do feel like Ashley's waistline is tighter than Allie's. And I think that that's really what's giving Ashley the edge here in this front pose. And again, when I look at Allie's shoulders and biceps, they're just a little bit too much, in my opinion. I think that her shoulders and her biceps are kind of almost distracting because they're so like cut and conditioned. So that's where I feel like through the waistline and through that area is kind of where Ashley overtakes, because when I look at the lower half of the body, I feel like Allie's got it from the lower half, but from the upper half, and the waistline is a really, really big deal in bikini, I think that Ashley wins it from that part. So that's where I think that this particular shot, I would give it to Ashley in the front. Now, the crux of this is we look at the back shot. So in my opinion, from the back, Allie takes this from the back. Now, one thing I will say about Ashley is that she looks a little bit broader across the top. She has a little bit of a better X frame from top to bottom here, with her back, her shoulders into her waistline than Allie does. Allie's proportions are a little bit more of an X frame. Allie's a little bit more straight up and down. But the glutes on Allie, in my opinion, are better than Ashley. So it's kind of personal preference here. Are we going for full overall shape, or are we going for fullness of the glutes and things like that? So, in the glutes, I think Allie beats it. I think she wins the shot. But in overall shape, I can see where they would give it to Ashley. Now, I still think these are not typical Ashley glutes. I still think she's flat. And I think that's I don't know if that's by design or what it is. But I would give the back shot to Allie. So Ashley Caldwell did win this, but in my opinion, it was kind of a split decision. Like, I would give the front to Ashley and the back to Allie. So, and I can make arguments for both of them in either shot too. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think the judges got it right here? What did you have? Do you think that Ashley was winning from the back? Or do you think that Allie was winning from the back? Type it in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who takes the front pose? Who takes the back pose in this particular show? I want to hear your thoughts. Because I can see the argument here in the back because of Ashley's pose being more width through the delts and the upper back than Allie. Sorry, I keep saying Ashley Allie. What do you guys think? Who do you got? And while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the shows for this weekend. Okay, so we have two shows this weekend. The St. Pete Pro is Masters for bikini, no open. I'm bringing up the St. Pete Pro because I will be there. So comments. I think they're exactly the same. Ashley from the front because the waist and Allie for the back pose. Overall shape has to go to Ashley. Yeah, that's what I said. Ashley. Yeah. I think that's. I mean, as far as I can see, I think that's the call there, right? So again, I'm not really going to go into too much with the competitors here for St. Pete, but I did want to point out something pretty significant here. Like I said, I will be there at St. Pete Pro this coming weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. We got a bunch of girls competing, and we're doing a little girls weekend too. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait. But we have Masters women's over 35. Some really good competitors here on this list. And then whoever wins the over 40 does qualify for the Masters Olympia. And I want you to just look at this list. Look at how deep this list is of 40-year-olds. Like, these Masters ladies are killing it, man. This is a big list for 40 and over. This is just 40 and over. Big list, right? I had Allie winning. I personally like Allie all around in comparison to Ashley. However, the waistline is better on Ashley. Yep, 100%. So a lot of people think that getting a Masters Pro card is easier. It's actually not. It's actually getting to be more difficult than getting an Open Pro card at this point. I mean, look at these lists. This is over 40, and then we got over 45, and then we've got over 50. I mean, over 50 is huge too. Like, this is crazy. Like, I think it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's great, but it's just that this competition is not getting any easier at all as you get older. So, you know, ladies that are in your 20s right now, you better be on it, because these ladies out here that are up in their 40s and 50s and stuff are kicking ass, man. They're kicking ass. So I just wanted to point that out. It's going to be a really fun show. Like I said, I'm really excited to be there myself. So there's that. I used to live in St. Pete, so it's going to be fun to go back and like my old stomping grounds and all that. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the Indy show. So let's pull this up. So Indy does have open bikini, also Masters 2. But look at this. All right. Open bikini right here. Look at how many competitors are in this show. This Indy show is huge. Huge, 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 huge. Right? It's crazy. So I honestly did not go through all of these names, but we're going to do it right now. So I'm going to pull up some people. We just talked about Lenny. Lenny just competed this weekend and was top 5. So there's somebody to be looking for right there. Kiki, we've talked about her several times. Jessica Delias has not been doing great this year, but she typically does, and she's an ex-Olympian, so definitely be watching out for her. Alessia just competed in DC, top 3. Ellie just competed as well. Brittany Gillespie just competed. Tara Grier just competed, is Olympia qualified. Lolo, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Also perennial top 5er. Alice from Italy, also Olympia qualified, always tends to be in the top over in Europe. Sarah from Germany, also Olympia qualified, always tends to be in the top in Europe. Angela Rosselli is in her 50s, but she's doing the open here too. Allie, we just talked about Allie. Leah just competed and had first call out at DC, Leah Walter. Savannah Watchman's one to page into. She's typically a top call out girl, and Marissa Walmut was top call out at DC Pro Am too. Did I miss anybody? Well, I'll see you there, Tara. Tara just said she's going to be competing in St. Pete, so I'll see you there. Did I miss anybody on this list? Chrissy Rodriguez. She's another one. God, this is just a huge list. And this could really go to anyone here. If I was betting, I think it's going to come down to between Tara and Allie. And you guys know I always go for the girl that is not Olympic qualified, so I'm going to go for Allie on this one. What do you guys think? Type in the comments. Tell me who you've got for your top. Yeah, I think I'm pretty solid on Allie. I'm gonna say Allie's gonna win this with Tara in second. You know, because Allie and Tara also have kind of the same weakness as well with that waistline. So I think it'll be pretty comparable between the two of them. I think Brittany Gillespie will probably Brittany and Alessia. Oh, no, Ellie. I'm sorry, I forgot about Ellie. So I'm going to put Ellie in third. And then I'm going to put Brittany and Alessia competing for 4th and 5th. That's what I'm going to say. I think I'm pretty solid on that. Yeah, I'm pretty solid on that. What do you guys think? So I've got Allie winning, Tara second, Ellie third, and then I'm going to put Brittany and Alessia in 4th and 5th. I have Tara and Allie as well. Brittany for third position. I would have put Brittany in third if Ellie was not in this, but like But no, I think Ellie could even push for second or first here. I'm still going to put Ellie in third because that's just my gut. But Ellie is an ex-Olympian. I think she's been like 7 times. So Yulana got third at San Diego. Okay, so there's another one to be paying attention to. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of girls on this list, and a lot of them have already placed. So it really is anybody's game here. Anyone else want to put their predictions in? I'm going to give you all a minute to do that. Put in your predictions for now. Speak now, forever hold your peace. And while I'm waiting for more people to chime in, because usually it's only a couple of people that like to put their thoughts out there. Well, I'm waiting for more people to chime in. If you haven't done so already, that QR code up in the corner there, that's for our Fit Model webinar. It's free. It's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join us there. I am live on there with you on the webinar. And if you don't scan that QR code, there is a link in my description box here on YouTube as well. Anybody else want to put a prediction out there? Nobody wants to put themselves out there and call it. I'm the only one that's willing to call it. I'm calling it for Allie. I think Tara will be in second. Ellie in third. And then Alessia and Brittany fighting for fourth and fifth. Plus, Alessia and Brittany also have the same weaknesses right now. They both need legs. They're both glute dominant from the back. So I think they'll be comparing pretty well. I did my video. Allie, Tara, Brittany, Gillespie, Ellie, and Lenny. Yeah, I don't see Lenny in the top 5 here. Just gonna be honest, I don't see her in the top 5. She's got a great back shot, but needs to work on that front shot. Brittany may have just beaten Allie, but I think that Allie is going to compare better in this lineup. Allie will compare really well to Tara. And like I said, Ellie has been to the Olympia 7 times. So I have a tendency to pick her over Brittany in this situation. Allie's a little bit more consistent in regard to her looks. Anybody else? But hey, you're not wrong. It could go that way. This is just for fun. I'm just going based on history, So yeah, no, I just reviewed Lenny as far as her top 5 placing here. I just don't think she's going to be in the top 5 in this particular show. The thing with Lenny, like I said, we literally just talked about her. I think she's got she's got a great back shot. This is her right here. She's got a great back shot, but her front shot needs work. Her front pose needs work. But yes, 5th through 10 is going to be very competitive. Correct. Absolutely. Oh yeah, and like I said, I'm not discounting the fact that it could be her up in the top 5. I just don't see it at this particular show. I think she's got too many good quality competitors in front of her. And like I said, if she can fix that front pose, then sure. But that front pose right now is not optimized, so she needs to work on that. I think her back pose is phenomenal. Like I said, I had no critiques for her back pose other than her hair. She needs to cut her hair. But yeah, In my opinion, she's probably top 10, but I don't think she's top 5 in this show. There's nothing wrong with that. She's doing great for her first season. I mean, like I said, even these European girls could get up there. Like you got Alice and you got Sarah that plays really well and win shows in Europe. So you can't count them out either. Oh, good. I'm glad this is perfect timing. We're about to wrap up here, Serena, but as soon as I'm done, it'll be the replay will be available as well. But yeah, I mean, guys, this is really pretty open. And there's a lot of girls, like I said, there's a lot of girls on this list that have been placing top 5 or like last year or, this year that could easily bump up and be in that, top 3 or so. It's just gonna be a matter of how they show up that day. But I'm pretty solid on my top 5. Pretty solid. And on that note, you guys, I hope you guys have had a great week so far. We will have a behind the bikini tomorrow. We're going to shoot tomorrow. We are taking topic suggestions from you guys too. So anytime you want us to talk about something, feel free. Just send that in. You can comment on our podcast or you can send it to us on Instagram or whatever so that we can talk about what you want to hear. And other than that, join me on my Fit Model webinar. Like I said, QR code up there in the corner. I'll stop sharing this for a second. There we go. So yeah, QR code up here in the corner for our Fit Model webinar tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be in St. Pete doing an overnight red eye to St. Pete on Thursday night into Friday morning. So that'll be fun. Pray for me. my body clock is going to be all kinds of fucked up. Going to be lots of fun. And if you guys have any questions or suggestions or anything like that, feel free, like I said, send them in. This is a conversation. This is not a dictatorship over here. I want to provide stuff for you that you want to see and hear about and learn about and all of that kind of thing. So also want to give that shout out again one more time to Lauren for winning that overall and fit model at Junior Nationals. I do believe she is now the standard to adhere to. So yeah, if you missed that, go back and watch the replay when this goes up. Okay. Got you a great week so far. Kind of 4 weeks out for my first show in Tennessee. Oh, nice. I think we had this conversation before. My first show was Knoxville, and then my second show was a Tennessee State show. So I did that back in 2008. I'm old, you guys. I'm old. I've been in this way too long, y'all. Way too long. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad you were able to join live. Like I said, go back and watch it when it replays. Like and comment when it replays, because I do always come back and look at the comments and everything too. So if you have anything to join in and say, this is your opportunity. All right, guys, I will see you guys later. We'll be back again and review these shows next.